Hello everybody, my name is Marcela Mallet. I'm an ESL instructor and today I'm going to be talking about language acquisition theories and their importance. Today I'll talk about 3 language acquisition theories, but before I want to ask you guys, why should teachers have a deeper understanding about second language acquisition? So, applying effective methods and approaches in the classroom is highly related to second language acquisition. And according to Hong, a basic knowledge of second language acquisition theories is extremely useful for mainstream classroom teachers and directly influences their ability to provide appropriate content area instruction to students. This is very important. Having a deeper understanding about second language acquisition influences teachers' ability to provide appropriate content area instruction. And this is exactly what we want. We want to provide appropriate content area instruction to our students. So having a deeper understanding about second language acquisition is extremely important to ESL teachers just like us. The first theory of language acquisition that I'll be talking about today is the Krashen's theory of language. His theory is composed of 5 hypotheses. The first one is acquisition learning hypothesis, which he believes that individuals either acquire a language or learn a language. He says that acquiring is an unconscious process, just like children do when they are learning their first language. On the other hand, learning is a conscious process in which individuals are aware of the rules. This is similar to studying grammar, for example. Individuals are usually studying the grammar, so they understand the structure of the language. The second is the monitor hypothesis. Then we have the input hypothesis, the natural order hypothesis, and affective filter hypothesis. Krashen states that successful second language students are those who spend a lot of time working on their comprehensible input, and their comprehensible input is the listening and reading. So, applying effective comprehensible input will allow students to develop their other language skills, which are speaking and writing. So, helping students develop their listening and reading skills will also help them develop their speaking and writing. It's also important to have everyday contact with the input in order to have success in the process of language acquisition. So the question now is, how can Krashen's theory inform reading instruction? The answer for this question is actually really simple. Just by creating input opportunities inside and outside the mainstream classroom. And how can teachers provide these opportunities? By creating extensive reading programs where parents and friends could be involved. Teachers can also create reading clubs because the students benefit from both. They benefit from reading and from being read too. In my 5th slide, I have the second theory that we're going to be talking about today, which is social cultural theory developed by Vygotsky. This theory states the importance of interaction during the process of acquiring a language. As the name already says, we have social cultural. So it involves the students when students are socializing. Individuals learn better when they collaborate during their learning experiences, and I agree because when I apply small groups and pair work, I can see the difference. My students, they are really engaged and they are more motivated to learn. Students are supposed to work together and not be isolated. That's so true. You learn so much better when you have somebody with you. You teach, you learn from them, and they learn for you. It's an exchange of knowledge. Learners first succeed in performing a new task with the help of another person, and they internalize this task so that they can perform it on their own. So basically, students learn from other students, and then once they internalize it, they can perform in their own, just exchanging information, exchanging language acquisition. That's the process of language acquisition. I remember when I learned English, I used to go to a lot of conversation classes, and I learned a lot from my peers and from my teacher, and from the reading activities, listening activities, and many kind of activities. Just summarizing this theory, individuals enhance their language learning skills through social experience involvement. In the next slide, I have another question. How can Vygotsky theory inform reading instruction? So, creating a student-centered learning environment can provide many social learning opportunities. I love student-centered learning. I think it's very effective, and the students are highly motivated. They learn from each other, and it's based on the theory of social culture. It's based on the social cultural theory by Vygotsky. In this, in the student-centered learning, the teacher is like a coach who facilitates and guides students during their learning process. And teachers always work with a small group and pair work because they are excellent sources of interaction. Teachers can also promote book discussion, and students can express their opinion about what has been proposed. By doing that, students can learn from each other, from and with each other, while they are also improving their critical thinking and skills. This is what I like the most about this theory, and about working with student-centered learning, because students learn language, but they also have the opportunity to improve their critical thinking skills because they have the opportunity to discuss ideas with their peers. The third theory I am discussing in this presentation is the behaviorism theory, which is a little bit older, but I think it's interesting to bring to the discussion, to this presentation. I have two main theorists in this theory, which is Watson and Skinner. This theory emphasizes that children learn a language by imitating adults. And learning is based on getting learners to repeat behaviors, verbal and non-verbal. So I have here stimulus, response, and reinforcement, as you guys can see. The stimulus comes from the teacher, the response comes from the student, and then reinforcement comes from the teacher. So the teacher gives a stimulus, students respond, and based on their response, they get a reinforcement. So the constant repetition, the right reinforcement can help students reach their goal. The audiolingual approach is based on this theory. I like the audiolingual approach, even though it's a little bit older and it's based on repetition. I think it works, but we have to know how to apply and when to apply and what characteristics we should apply. In this theory, we have to pay attention in the mother language because L1 plays a big role in the process of acquiring the L2, and we have to pay attention in the negative and positive transfer. So just keep an eye on that when you are applying some concepts from the behaviorism theory. How can the behaviorism theory inform reading instruction? Building student reading fluency by providing positive reinforcement for students that complete the goals proposed by the teacher. So I like to use reinforcement that's for students that complete the goals proposed. That's why I brought that here. How can teachers provide these opportunities? So teachers can implement a classroom point system and have classroom rewards, pajama party, or an ice cream social. This is actually very effective, and many teachers all over the country use this system of rewarding. Thank you very much and have a good day.